Alright, how's it going, everyone? We are back with the finale of episode 3. Let's continue. What ended up being just a trial case, although we kind of got our own weird investigation in a way. Got introduced to the whole jury system and all that of this game. And then someone decided to smoke bomb the courtroom. Not really sure why. May or may not be related to the real culprit, or just of some kid who decided to get a free ride in a carriage, I guess. And, you know, in typical Phoenix Wright fashion, get himself tied up in a murder mystery. It definitely didn't do it because I don't think they would ever have the guts to do that. But we'll know. We'll see. There was indeed a child involved. May or may not be related to who bombed the courtroom just now. What on earth just happened in there?
Mr. Naruhodo, I've managed to find out what happened.
Miss Susato.
I was told it was an advanced form of a smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke.
Smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of thing ninjas use.
They're just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long.
But who would have done something like that?
The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently.
Flee the courtroom? Why?
Well, it's a young girl of around 15, I hear.
A young girl? Then could it be the other passenger Mr. McGilda was just talking about?
My thoughts exactly.
So he wasn't lying. Oh, what's become of Mr. McGilda, actually? There's so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here.
I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions. Along with the young girl.
Who is she, I wonder? And what was she even doing here at the trial? She's taking a huge risk, and for what possible benefit to herself?
There's another matter that's troubling me.
What's that?
The 20 pence.
Oh, right, because the driver overcharged everyone by 1 pence.
According to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly.
But now it seems there were, in fact, 5 passengers.
Which means the figures don't seem to add up again.
So did he swindle everyone, or did this girl actually pay her fare? She's right, that is strange. Counsel for the defense, kindly proceed to the courtroom. The trial will recommence in 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away.
Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of the trial.
We'll know soon enough, Miss Susato.
Yes.
She could have quietly left and not released a smoke grenade. She's 15. Of course she's fucking stupid. I don't know what the purpose of the smoke grenade was, though. Like, in any context here, there was no reason for that. You're right. Like, it really should have just been... She just left. She shouldn't have even come here in the first place. Like, this is literally a classic case of returning to the scene of the crime. Doesn't matter if she's guilty or not. She was there at the scene of the crime. She is involved. She should have just gone home. Probably no one would have ever found her. God knows if we would have, like, if everyone would have believed the client. There's the young girl next to Mr. McGilded. Look. She must have been the one who caused this disturbance before.
Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now then, Lord Van Zix. My lord? I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which veiled proceedings earlier. It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade, of the sort typically employed in the army. Good gracious, the army! What in the devil's name? It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught.
and now occupies the stand.
Your name, girl?
How much you want to bet? Like, I don't know why, I'm just imagining this girl being related to McGilded. Like, what are the chances that they're, like, father-daughter or something? I know they're dressed completely differently, but just feel like that's a possibility here. She didn't know the scene of the crime would return to her. That's true. I don't think anyone expected them to take the whole crime scene into the courtroom like that. That's unprecedented. He's not getting laid? Dude, the man is rich as fuck. Of course he's getting laid. Because he says so. This is the 1800s. You don't get a choice in the matter. If some rich guy walks up to you and says they want you to be their wife, you can't really say no. I mean, why would you? Guy's rich. Of course you're gonna say yes anyways.
Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom?
He has no ring? That's a good point. We haven't seen a ring on him. You do make a good point. Counterpoint. Doesn't have to be married to have a kid.
What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior?
She ain't saying shit. And this guy's gonna defend her.
If I may, my lord. Yes, Mr. McGilded. I think perhaps I ought to explain here why it is that this wee lass here was here in the first place, and why she tried to bolt like that.
Wait, this guy's got rings? Wait, this guy's got rings on his right hand right now. Who's to say one of them's not a wedding ring, hmm?
This all tied up with the events of last night, so it is. Very well, Mr. McGilded. Give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case.
Just what did happen that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything. You know about pandemonium, it's kind of mid. Yeah, I think if it's what I'm thinking of, I think we're on the same page here.
On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus, promptly nodded off. Then, begorra, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. And there was a fella collapsed on the floor at me feet, so I set him up on the seat across from me.
So wait, like, a guy suddenly appeared on the floor of the carriage?
When I turned to find out where that scream had come from, bless my soul, what did I find? Well, there was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away.
So you're telling me you just walked onto this bus and the guy was like already dead? And girl was like weeping in the corner?
I remain somewhat baffled, I confess. But from what I gather, on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus. Is that correct? It's exactly as the defense counsel said. This last was the fifth passenger, my lord. Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. Are you ready, counsel?
Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start. He's awfully quiet. And when you first got on the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? So he was the first one on the bus then.
There were not. The cabin was empty and there was no one on the roof deck either. You were the first passenger, as it were. I see. Aye, And that's why I took the back side as I did. It is the most comfortable, so it is.
Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat?
Well, by all means, just how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one which the poor gentleman was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, it's the most comfortable and where I feel most at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well.
I mean, I'm kind of with this guy. Sitting at the back of the bus, always a good time.
Hold it!
A loud thud, you say, and a scream.
Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? It was like the sound of someone falling to the ground. That sort of noise.
So you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor, having been stabbed?
Well now, you remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. But when the sound woke me and I opened my eyes, there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fellow on the floor.
So he gets on the bus, falls asleep, next guy walks in, third guy walks in, someone stabs someone else, and then that's when he wakes up because he wakes up from someone getting stabbed. But the perpetrator is long gone. You didn't see anyone, but at the same moment, you did hear a scream.
Ah, from the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume? Not above me, no, my lord. 'Twas from inside the cabin. Ah, but I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before my eyes. Hold it!
You sat him up. The victim, you mean?
I did. On the sea across from me, as I said. I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. You wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you?
I mean, no, but I also wouldn't sit him up either. That's kind of weird.
What's his common courtesy, so it is?
I find that a little hard to believe.
Lord Six? Now why would that be?
You wake to find a man lying dead at your feet in the carriage. Any normal person would hail as a cabman. Any upstanding member of London society, that is.
Well now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business. The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest. Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer them, and would even see me dead. So I do try, where at all possible, to avoid getting myself in a tangle of trouble.
Are you suggesting you were just going to leave the man there?
Heavens alive, no! I was always intended to report it, so I was. Only, I don't mind to find out the whys and wherefores first.
The whys and wherefores?
Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. That wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't your good self just do the same?
Yes, the scream he says he heard at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing.
Hold it!
The rings aren't on his ring finger, so none of the rings are likely to be a wedding ring. Who says you have to wear it on your ring finger? What? Alright, I didn't know that was like a rule, but okay. I'll take your word for it then. I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court that there was no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim.
So I did, sir, so I did. As far as I could see, that is.
What do you mean by that?
Well, now, 'tis a queer thing. The weird scream I heard was as I woke up. What came from, excuse the vulgar expression, under me backside. Good gracious.
Under your backside?
And when I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, I found there was a wee cubby hole there for storage.
Mr. Naruhodo, we can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember? Yes, of course. The whole bus was submitted as evidence. This would be a very good time to have a thorough look around inside. Well, and that's when I found her. Now, is there enough room for a 15-year-old? Is that what we're arguing here? Because, I mean, there was a bunch of stuff in there, but I mean, maybe? You say she was hiding herself.
Aye, that's right. It was hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball. When your eyes met, well, me heart nearly stopped beating on me chest.
You're really overreacting this.
Still and all, I pulled her out from under there and sat her on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chewing with her.
The seat opposite?
Well, that's right, just next to the dead gentleman there. Who sat this young girl next to a corpse, sir? Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So, I need to find out just who this urchin was, you see?
Why didn't you set her beside you? On the seat that didn't have a dead gentleman?
When I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream. A villain's voice this time.
Presumably that scream was Mr. First, who was sitting on the roof deck seats.
Right you all again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and the gentleman with the knife in his belly. In other words, the previous witnesses did not in fact see you at all, Mr. McGilded. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was in fact this girl and the late Maester Mason. Aye, my lord. I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight.
Are we, like, just out of, you know, pointing it out there, is it possible that this isn't a girl at all? Not that I really know what that would be relevant to the case, but just pointing that out there.
It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and readily confused perhaps with this young girl. After that, of course, with the scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up the horses. Thank you, I've heard enough. The events as explained are clear in my head. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is the girl? Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns a crust among large crowds, relieving people of the poises. What's commonly called a pickpocket. What? This girl here, a petty thief? Order! Order! Is this true, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question.
Whoa! You can't just shoot people with guns in court, that's illegal.
Ugh, how dare you? What is the meaning of this? The girl! She's gone!
You're not sure if this girl's a girl at all? Okay, well... You know what? I'm not gonna say anything because the last time I thought someone was someone, it turned out they were someone else entirely. And then, despite how obvious it was the first time. So, I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm just putting it out there because this would hardly be the first time that they pulled a bait and switch.
Come over here! Good gracious, how...
What was the point in that little sidestep?
I know what you lot are thinking. Grown-ups are all the same. This dirty little dipper, you say, slipped up and got caught on the job. She got herself backed into a corner, so she left the gent. Go on. That's what's in your heads, is it?
No, not at all.
Well, this is a court of law. We're here to determine the truth, not cast...
Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what I do is these fingers. I'm a professional, alright? Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do.
Not sure there's a lot of pride in pickpocketing, but okay. Let me guess, you don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs?
Oh, this. Yeah, this was in the bag I lifted the other day. Down where they keep the four-wheel drags. What's nice in it? I like the pink best. Do not wave that thing in my direction again.
Yeah, I think everyone needs a drink after this little charade.
So, you admit that you were riding in the omnibus on the night in question? Tis alright, lass. You can tell him the truth now. Alright, yeah. It's just like the Irishman said. The court accepts this girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please. You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question. Alright, if I have to.
I think she has some boobs, actually. That means nothing. You know what? After playing Xenoblade 3, that 100% means nothing. Now, I'll tell you why that means nothing. Because there's class costumes in that game. On the guys, they end up having bigger chests than half of the party. That should have a chest. So you know what? For all I know, that's just like a weird wrinkled shirt. We don't know that's a girl. We cannot say with certainty that that's a girl just because of some lumps in the testicular region. Okay? It's just I just can't. I'm not gonna believe it. I'm only gonna believe it when the case is over. Have I beaten 3? Not yet. I'm on chapter 5.
So I stuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always.
Wait, she does this a lot?
But it was right for old waste of time. I got nothing to show for my troubles that night. I'll tell you, we can't see a blonde thing in that autumn place. It's pitch in there. Then after a while, I heard this loud bang. Then it jumped out my skin, I did. And the scream just came out. It's because of this that the swell found me. It helped me get away, mind.
Yes, he let you go.
I fail to understand why you would let this street urchin go, Mr. McGilded. Oh, 'tis simplicity myself, my lord. You see, she could possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact.
How?
Well, as I'm sure I said before, sir. I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself. I think a demonstration is called for. This is where I was sat that night, and the cubbyhole of which you have spoken is underneath this seat, I presume. Yes. It does appear just large enough to accommodate someone of the girl's stature. Aye, but of course, the wee lass was stuck in there, because I'd parked myself on the seat for the duration. Ah. So you see, that's why I let the lass bolt. Well, I knew that if the police found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it. But I couldn't live with myself if her young life was ruined when all the time I knew she was innocent.
She's a pickpocket. She is automatically not innocent. But I guess maybe he didn't know that.
Even though you must have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question. Not at all, my lord. Not at all. I knew in my own heart that I was innocent. So I thought, it was worth taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of this less fortunate lass.
My goodness.
What a perfect gentleman. My lord, this fine example of a man can't possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this. I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir.
Okay. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Says the person who jumped to conclusions in the first 5 seconds of the trial.
Saints alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual in their leading to a verdict of not guilty?
Mr. Naruhodo, this... well, it must mean...
It must mean what?
that we're victorious. Well, wait, doesn't the prosecution now get the opportunity to, like, appeal to the jury like we did? I mean, that's only fair, right? We've won? Are you sure?
Objection!
Whoa! What the fuck? Why you need to put your foot up there, my guy? Where, where did this come from?
If the sight of my iron-heeled Wellington offends, pray do not forgive the discourtesy.
He apologized for it, it's fine.
This really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in the British judicial practices. The evidence and reasoning should be paramount. Emotion rules the day.
Emotion?
The witness's latest statement gives us a clear insight into his true nature.
What do you mean, his true nature?
Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put it, was included in their investigation. The compartment under the posterior seat was full of the coachman's belongings. It is noted in black and white here in the police report. Good lord! The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGilden's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat.
I wonder who that could have been. Because when we checked the carriage earlier, there was indeed a bunch of luggage in there.
Order! Order! How could such a devious contrivance possibly have been effected, Counsel? Well, naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment under the seat was not empty. Well, my Nipponese friend? Me? When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, what did you find in the condition of the under-seat compartment to be? Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman will be able to clear this up in a jiffy.
Sorry?
Go ahead. You tell the court now, fella. How this is an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Van Zix.
I'm not lying in court, sorry.
Well, counsel, do you have something to say on this matter?
How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of that little compartment under the seat in the omnibus? It wasn't empty. We looked at the court record. It was not empty at all.
I really don't know if giving this answer is helping my cause as counsel for the defense. But as far as I remember, at least. Why do you sound like the bad guy in an Indiana Jones movie for this guy's accent? Is he not German? What am I supposed to sound like? When I first examined the compartment, I'm fairly certain there was a number of articles inside it, yes.
Are you sure, Counsel? I'd be wits. What are you saying now, you daft dog? I thought you were on my side here. What game are you playing? Your task is to defend the man in the stand. Why would you say something to compromise his position?
As the advocate for the defense in this trial, I confess I'm still not entirely sure where I stand. But it seems to me that I should state what facts I do know as clearly and honestly as possible.
Interesting. That's not altogether pleasing, fella.
I'm simply telling the truth, Mr. McGilded.
Well, don't forget that you're supposed to be representing my best interests here, lad. Now then. A fella's memory is a curious thing, and not altogether reliable. Though the court must consider the facts. That there cubbyhole under the seat is as empty as the devil's heart, so it is. Do you think perhaps it would be in your best interests now to admit that you might have been mistaken?
Excuse me? Why do I feel like something's not right here?
I should like the jury to weigh in on this matter, I think.
Wait, well now the jury's all on his side, so they're going to believe that it's empty. What the fuck?
That compartment is designed to house equipment used to maintain the smooth running of the carriage. Well, Guild's rules state that omnibuses should be properly and fully equipped at all times. So it certainly wouldn't have been empty on the night in question. Beppo isn't that irresponsible. That money-lending fleecer and the pit purser are lying.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't care if you changed your mind. I agree with you. Dude, Acoustic, you missed foot. You're questioning the Mad Hatter being here, fucking Lucky Charms man himself, and the jury's openly drinking? You missed foot. This guy just like stuck his foot on the desk, and then just for everyone to see, he hoisted it right up and over. I don't know why he did that. It was kind of out of pocket, but he did it. Oh, you saw the foot, okay. When they could have removed the stuff to fill is full? I mean, yeah, probably during a smoke bomb. Maybe that's why the smoke bomb was put down. You know what? I bet these two are in cahoots. Why else would he have let her go? She's probably working for him. Probably his lackey.
I can't believe I was nearly taken in. A stinking rich are always stinkers. Nothing but cowards, a lot of them.
What? Oh no.
What's a trick? Of course it's a trick.
And he's 100% right. I don't trust this guy either.
Quite so. I must concur here. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time.
Yes, but every time a different truth, it seems.
My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate. Thank you, counsel. But before we proceed any further, there is the matter of the outstanding cross-examination. Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please.
Yes, my lord. What just happened? The whole balance of the trial just shifted almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work, it would seem. Bunch of wishy-washy jurists. I'm thinking he's guilty at this point. They certainly want you to believe that, don't they? I feel like... I mean, it's a non-zero chance that we get a case like that for sure. I just don't believe this is going to be one of those cases. So I'm really curious how they're going to weasel their way out of this one. Because, I mean, yeah, clearly they want you to think they're the bad guys. I mean, she put down the smoke bomb, took out all the evidence from the luggage compartment, and he's probably working with her. It's probably why she was able to get away scot-free. So, you were already in the omnibus before it even set off on its run?
Well, yeah. I mean, what's the point of spending a joy to make a few bob, eh? That's a rum idea, isn't it?
I suppose she means there's no point in spending money to make money. Actually makes sense.
Counsel, may I remind you this girl is a petty thief? Kindly refrain from entertaining her tenants. Well, that does clear up the little mystery of the fares and all. 4 paying passengers at 5 pence each, making the 20 to which the cabin testified. And 1 little skip, 8th Grace riding for free. Great conk of a driver as always goes for some grub before his last run, see? So that's when I slip in the carriage and get myself hidden under the seat. Nice and easy, right? But your hiding place is a storage compartment, full of equipment for the coach, no?
Ooh, got awfully quiet there, did ya?
Yeah, there's brushes and buckets and whatnot in there, sure. Always chuck all that out and cram it in a corner somewhere. No one ever seems to bother much. And yet, according to the report filed by the police officer who arrived at first at the scene, the compartment is full of such paraphernalia. Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I moved all that stuff out so I could hide under the seat. That's all I could tell you. It seems we've reached the end of that line of inquiry. Continue.
A waste of time? Why is that?
Well, most nights I'm on my own and the guard permits at least some of the time. I beg your pardon? Did you say guard permit? Oh yeah. Well, that's what my kind call it. Hey, you'd say the omnibus, I suppose. The point is, any normal run, the carriage ain't got no one in it for a while.
And that's when you come out of your hiding place and get away.
That's it. Only that night. This cove was sat on my seat from the start. And he didn't even budge all the way, did he? Not 1 inch. I was totally stuck. Do you mean to tell us that you were present in the carriage for the duration? You were under the seat the entire time while events unfolded in the enclosed cabin? Yeah. Right, mister? To be sure. I was shocked as anyone. You don't expect to lift the cushion you've been sat on and find a child now, do you?
This Miss Lestrade couldn't possibly be the culprit then. His necktie looks like he killed a Pokemon and decided to wear it. I'm trying to remember what Pokemon you're probably thinking of, but yes, I think I know what you're talking about. It does kind of look like that, yeah. To be able to get the stuff out, they figured out she was there. Can we check her profile? Yeah, we could check her profile. Let's see, where's her profile? No, we cannot check her profile. Because we don't get the option to show profiles, so no, we cannot check her profile. There's no option for just court record, it's only present. Unless I can do it. Oh, we can do it now. We can do it now. People. Where's she at? Does she have a profile? She does. A young woman who witnessed the incident from her hiding place aboard the omnibus on the night of the murder. She was discovered by the defendant. Wait, didn't someone say she was 15? Where did we get the number 15 from? Or did I just, like, grossly misread something earlier? Yeah, didn't someone say she was 15? Am I crazy? I swear someone said she was 15. The fuck? Is that important? That seems like that might be important. I don't know why that would be important, but I mean, that's clearly a contradiction. Someone's lying about her age, even if it's only like 2 years. Sure, I guess. So you couldn't see out into the cabin at all? Not a jot. Most days I push the curtain up with me head and look at the crack. And I can have a butcher's at who I'm going to fiddle. I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher. I mean, I can have a look. The seat I get under ain't as plush as the other one, see? So most of the time the passengers plant themselves opposite. But for some reason that night, this here Irishman spent the whole journey right over me head. And for that reason you weren't able to push the cushion up to peek out. I see. The truth is, I ain't too happy in that small dark places. Feels too much like being thrown in the clink. Well, it's the only place to iron them carriages, so it's Hobson's choice. Why doesn't she just stick to picking people's pockets in the open then? I'd say there's some reason that she's not laying on, judging from her demeanor. I feel like it'd be really easy to get noticed if you try and pickpocket someone in such a small enclosed space. Like, does she just like slip her hand into their pockets on when they leave? So anyways, I was a bit scared, but I had to just stick it out under there. Nothing else for it. I love her outfit. Yeah, her outfit, I mean... See, that's why I kind of thought that maybe we were going to get a bait and switch, just slightly, because this is like 1895, let's say, and she's wearing pants. Kind of weird. I mean, I guess it's not completely impossible, but also kind of weird. When you say a loud bang, do you mean the noise of someone falling to the floor? It wasn't completely unheard of for women to be wearing, like, jeans and pants back then, around that time. But it was still kind of a new thing. Could have been, I suppose. I don't remember so well. Even though it was only last night. What is it made me jump? And you let out a scream involuntarily? That's right. And then I felt the cushion over me head get lighter all of a sudden. Presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim, yes. Or not? It could equally have been the moment the accused stood in order to stab his victim, could it not?
Well, girl, did you see what happened at that crucial moment?
Yeah, I saw it. I pushed up the cushion and added quick pushes while I had the chance, didn't I? The Irishman was sitting up on the block who had fallen on the floor of the seat besides, seat opposite. I matches Mr. McGilden's account, of course. But then, the fella suddenly turns around and looks right at me. I suddenly sat back down again, but it was too late by then. I should have never have risked looking. And when Mr. McGilden discovered you, he pulled you out from your hiding place? I was scared stiff, I was. He dragged me out and sat me down on the seat and all. Next to the victim, Mr. Mason. Yeah, the bloke had a knife in his guts. It was still bleeding. And the carriage lurched a bit and they ended up falling onto me. Oh, awful. Both me hands got covered in blood. It made me feel sick as a dog. Their hands covered in blood. That must be what the rooftop passengers saw. See, this is why you just leave the bodies on the floor. What the fuck, man? After that, I believe you talked with Mr. McGilden for a while. Is that correct? You... So all this happens, she gets like a body dumped on her, and she's still like, yeah, I'm gonna talk with this guy. Sure. I'll just have a nice friendly chat. He asked me for some stuff. Wanted to know my name and what I was up to on that night. I heard something from above. Someone screamed.
Yes, Mr. First on the roof deck, one would presume.
Well, I didn't want no one seeing my face, so I didn't look up. And the horses were drawn up smartish, and the zero houseman says to me, "Get back under the seat. I'll see to it that you can get away later." You think she should have pants on? She's probably homeless. Yeah, but that doesn't make a difference. Pants are fucking expensive. You have to pay for those. Can't afford a dress. You don't wear a dress. You just wear like I don't mean like a real dress. I don't mean like a fancy like fucking Victorian dress. Still pants. You have to pay for those. You think she shouldn't have? Yeah. No, I don't think she should have had pants on. She's fucking homeless? Unless she just, I mean, maybe she just found them on the street? Sure. Maybe she pilfered them off of someone. Fine. I could see that. I think it's more likely she would not have had pants on. Yes. No, not nothing for her bottom half, but just not pants. All 6 members of the jury decided the defendant was innocent. For one brief shining moment, yes. It's clear that they're all still very unsure. We could just find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony. I'm sure we would clinch the verdict we want. Yes, I think you're right. I have this niggling feeling. Something's bothering me. I just can't quite put my finger on it. Alright, can we take another look at the carriage? Did the carriage update or something? Or is this like version of the carriage still going to show all the stuff inside? I want to see. Have they updated the crime scene report? Oh, I have to click on the handle. I guess I'm not clicking enough. Oops. Okay, so they updated the crime scene report. Interesting. Storage compartment, but there's nothing in here. It's totally empty. Something doesn't seem right here. I can't put my finger on what it is. Okay, that's good to know. Got nothing to show for any troubles at night. I'll tell you, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch black in there. Okay. Draw here to slot bang, nearly jumped out my skin, and the scream just came out. So she talks about how dark it is. She didn't steal anything that night. Do we... Wait. Did she steal something, maybe? Like, there wouldn't be anything here about that, would there? Somehow? I doubt it. Was it the scream or him seeing her? Well, I just wanted to know if they, like, if the version we have in the court record was the one with or without the luggage, because I was wondering if maybe we could have used that to, like, throw a contradiction at her. But now I'm trying to figure out, like, what exactly we're trying to contradict then, because defendant's list of debtors is Bruce Fairplay, who've been due to repay his loan immediately. Photograph of the victim taken on the omnibus. The knife in his abdomen is clearly visible, but his face is partially obscured from view by an old crooked hat. Can't see anything. After all, this loud bang nearly jumped on my skin. Scream just came out. So she screamed when she heard a bang. I'm assuming that's the body falling on the floor, but I'm sure there's more to it than that. And then McGill had found her. Look inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. So the only things I can really see there being a contradiction for, well, I know that McGill did say he was the first on the omnibus, but like she got on at like the depot before they even set up the carriage, or not at the depot, but just like before it started going on its route. So he would have been the first like normal passenger when it's on its route, but she was there the whole time and he didn't know it. So that checks out, I think. Got nothing to show for my troubles that night. I feel like that's not true, but I have no idea what we could present for that. Did we ever check this knife? No, you know what? I don't think we did. An ornate letter M, undeniably Mr. Magnus McGilded's initial. Okay, you know what? No, that's not an M. That's a fucking W. We know how this goes. That's a W, it's not an M. I've seen this too many times. They're gonna pull that stunt. Just watch. It's beautifully gilded too. Must be very valuable, I should think. Ah, what is it? Oh, look at this M. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a W. See? What'd I tell ya? This could change everything. A W? Yes, this is one of those, you know, turnabout cases. I'm sure of it. I'm afraid I don't know it all, but what I am sure of is that this is an M. Oh, well, that idea was quickly quashed. How do you know it's an M? M's and W's can be written like the exact same way. I'll make it an M. And now I'll make it a W. Give me one reason why this can't be a W. Why, just because, like, Naruhodo came up with it and she's like, haha, that'd be too funny. Why would they ever do that? Joking at the fact that it's been done like 3-4 times in the series. That part is the sheath, isn't it? Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, sorry, yes. I just don't really like blades. Oh. Those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana slung from his waist. That's not a blade, that's Kazuma's soul. Anyway, there's no sense in delaying. Let's see what this blade looks like. Anything here on the blade? Just the blood? Ugh, that looks like a lot of blood. It surely is blood. The victim's. Ugh, an Englishman's blood looks a lot like Japanese man's blood. Did you think it wouldn't? Sorry, it's just that we've only just arrived here in Great Britain. I'm finding it a little hard to adjust. Yes, I do understand. Those British people are so alien, I'm surprised that the blood looks the exact same as everyone else's. You'd think it would look different. Did she steal the gloves? Is that what we need to go on? But she didn't have gloves on. Her hands were like completely covered in blood because the body like fell on her. Because McGilded's an asshole. This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London. Well, nothing will come of grumbling now. No. By the way, is Mr. McGilded right-handed? Yes, I believe so. He was toying with a coin in his hand a little earlier. Pity. Only he'd been left-handed. I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really. What hand was she using to toss her coin around? She was using her right hand, right? Where's that animation? She was doing it in one of these. No, she wasn't doing any of these. Okay, but she's clearly right-handed, so that's nothing. Can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Could this be wrong? Could see the camera all not job. Most days I push the cushion up, have a look at the crack. Right. Yeah, because he usually sit opposite. Irishman sent the whole journey right overhead. Okay. Oh, there we go. This is new.
Excuse me.
That wasn't there the first time. Great. Pressing people twice is back on the menu, boys. Is something wrong, Mr. McGilded? Glad I just happened to press that one specific statement. We would have been here for a while, because I thought we were done with that mechanic like 7 games ago. That was not there the first time, nope. The just unprompted, press it twice, get new information. That's how you know this is made by the original creator.
Oh, I do apologize. Was there something the matter, Council?
I'm just wondering if Miss Lestrade's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps. You seem to be thinking something to yourself.
Oh, no. 'Twas nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lass, is all. I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad, shut up in the dark. 'Twas terrifying, so it was.
I see. Yes, I'm sure we can all sympathize. I'm still scared of the dark now.
Aye, and I don't know about yourself, but I find that the darkness seems to make everything you hear seem that much louder as well.
Oh, you're turning on her, are you? Okay.
Yeah. I suppose it does. Maybe.
Miss Lestrade, did you hear something that night? Anything? An unusual noise, perhaps?
No, not really. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. Jeepers, there's no need to tell the whole world of me foibles, you little scamp.
Wait, isn't that good, though? That's corroborating stories on the fact that he was asleep the whole time.
What a pity. Only Miss Lestrade heard something and might have given us a vital new clue.
Yes. What should we make of that last statement of hers? Profoundly important. It always is. My lord, I believe the statement just made by the witness is profoundly important.
Profoundly important, but all she said was that she heard nothing.
Yes, which is the profoundly important point. I'm almost sure of it.
I'm almost sure I don't understand the inner workings of your Eastern mind, Council. Nevertheless... Miss Gina Lestrade, you will supplement your formal testimony by repeating that last statement, please.
What? Supplement? What are you on about?
Don't give me that all your fancy talk. I know what you're trying to do, but it won't work on me.
That's right, insult the judge. Always a good move. She's one to talk about fancy talk. I can't even figure out half her words.
Hold it!
So you were straining to hear what was happening the entire time, since the moment you hit yourself?
Not exactly, no.
Sorry?
Well, there was no one in the cabin to start with. Or I could just push the curtain up and have a butcher's to see what was what. But then, when I saw this swell getting on, I got my head down so he didn't notice me.
And Mr. McGill did sound the seat under which you were hiding, correct?
Yeah. Would you Adam and Eve it, eh? What a mug. So all I could do was listen. I was ready to jump out of there as soon as I heard him leave, see? But Woody, not likely. Even though we stopped here and there, never heard the door open. So I just had to stay put and listen to him driving his pigs to market. Snoring like an old dog he was.
Are there any conclusions we can draw from that, I wonder? Let's see. Well, that doesn't make sense, because then when did the victim get on? She never heard anything? But then when did the guy die? You're telling me the body just, like, conjured out of thin air? Ms. Lestrade, what you've just told the court is clearly at odds with the facts. You know, the fact that there was a murder during that time?
At odds? Oh, are you sure, man?
Absolutely.
It seems my learned Nipponese friend is not as dull-witted as I feared.
So Van Six realized it too. Why is everyone here so racist? Because it's 1895! That's why. It's England in 1895. I don't think you could get more racist than that, period.
Counsel, I must insist that you bolster your claim with evidence, or some complicit party's name at the very least.
Yes, my lord.
I expect you to demonstrate this alleged contradiction to the court.
According to Miss Lestrade, while she was hiding in the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGilder's snoring. But think, Ryunosuke, think. Something else she should have heard. Oh, what do we want to show for this? I mean, the body, right? Like, that's what she should have heard. Might even be in the record. How far up can we scroll here? No, okay, we can't scroll back for now. But she heard they talked about she heard the body. Or, no, someone heard the body. Yeah, no, he woke up because the body thumped on the floor. Something did. So what do we show for that? Do we want to show a person or we want to show evidence? I want to show a person. Or do we show the autopsy report? The autopsy report, maybe? Show Mason? Yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna be Mason or the autopsy report. Let's try person. He says something else, though, not someone else. But maybe Mason will count. Very well, my lord. Allow me to elaborate. On a particular sound that Miss Lestrade could not have failed to hear on the night in question. I think the autopsy report seems more appropriate, but this could work. Sound very clearly explained by the presence of the following person. Hopefully this works.
Thrice fired, Mason.
Yes, my lord. The sound that Miss Lestrade cannot have failed to hear is that of the victim, Mr. Mason, boarding the omnibus. Okay, well that works. Yeah, thumping on the floor, at the very least boarding the bus.
Order! Order! Explain your reasoning, counsel.
Miss Lestrade, allow me to confirm something. You claimed earlier that you were the first person on board the bus. Is that correct?
Yeah, of course I was. I got on while the driver was in the pub, didn't I?
And the next person to board the omnibus was Mr. McGilder?
That it was. Not a soul in the cabin when I was climbed aboard. At least not in plain sight.
So you were, to all intents and purposes, alone in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus at that time.
Did I not just say as much? I wasn't traveling with anyone else, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I saw him get on, remember? Through the crack under the seat cushion. He was on his own for sure.
And from what we've heard, the carriage made a number of stops after that on its onward journey. During which time, did you not hear the door opening or closing at all?
Nah, I never heard it. That's exactly what I was listening for, wasn't it? Waiting for the swell to leave.
In which case, when and how did the victim end up on the carriage? We know that the victim collapsed inside the enclosed cabin of the omnibus. Therefore, Miss Lestrade's statement about what she did, or did not, hear, is at odds with the facts. A thing can be a person? I mean, you're not wrong in this context. I would definitely, like, if I wanted to talk about a person, though, I would definitely use someone instead of the word something. But that's also just me. This is also the game that, you know, it's just interesting to have that sort of, you know, that inconsistency when this is also the same game that made you point out the fact that someone used the letter S and they weren't just being casual about it and they meant it. You had to catch them on the letter S.
Yes, this petty thief statement was clearly flawed. Lord Van Six.
Yes. He knew. He knew all too well that there was an inconsistency in Miss Lestrade's test statement.
It would seem words of thanks are in order for my learned friend.
What are you talking about? Does the Ace Attorney series have any voice acting at all? I mean, aside from, you know, the obvious voice clips for Objection, no, outside of the Professor Layton crossover. There's absolutely zero. Well, actually, no. Sorry. Nowadays, yes. There's a little bit. There's cutscenes that are voice acted, but that's it. You have a couple of cutscenes that are voice acted, and the Professor Layton crossover also had a lot of voice acting, but that's because it was a Professor Layton game. And Professor Layton games are usually fully voice acted, or like at least 80 to 90% voice acted. You have demonstrated matters impeccably. Here's this witness, and colorful statements are entirely unreliable. Her words are convenient untruths, nothing more. So she's just completely lying, is what I'm hearing here. Oh, Granny! The hell? I guess wait, the kid's lying, and you still think McGilded is the guilty one here? What the fuck, man? Just random one voice lines? Well, I mean, yeah, you get like Objection and you get Hold It. I mean, those have always been in the game, at least since the DS. I don't know if Game Boy had those lines, but at least since the DS, those have always been things. But proper, like, voice dialogue, first game that had it was the Professor Layton crossover. Then it kind of became a thing with some of the cutscenes in games 5 and 6. And these games as well have voice cutscenes. But yeah, before that, no, not really. She didn't even say anything. Oh, I didn't want to judge the dear little... didn't want to judge the dear little Mud just because she had some rather naughty ways. But I must say... Oh, I can't abide liars. And neither can I. Wait, but then shouldn't you be... I'm confused here. Why are they all changing sides to black if it's the kid that's lying? If the kid's lying, that makes her seem guilty, therefore my client should be innocent. Mr. Foreman. I don't want to judge the girl just because she has some less than salubrious ways. But I must say, I cannot abide liars. I'm very confused here. Do they all think the girl and the guy are in cahoots? I mean, I guess they might be. I was saying it too. Mr. Naruhodo, that's 5 jury members leading towards guilty. Wait, there's a Phoenix Wright FNF mod? That's actually kind of cool. I wonder what music they use for it. You know what? Actually, that works really well. Now that I'm picturing that in my head, I think that's a great idea for an FNF mod. Like, just the premise of the game works perfectly for something like this. Well, your consideration for others is refreshing, my Nipponese friend. Those are considerable troubles you have spared me. Ah, yes. Very refreshing. What are you praying at? Have you forgotten who you're working for, you useless Easterner, a madman? This is carnage. It's perfect. German number 2 is the only one left. Mr. Naruhodo, the way this is going... I know. If we can't find some new way to convince everyone of Mr. McGilded's innocence, the judge will rule and we'll have lost. I very much want to believe the words of one of London's most respected gentlemen, but those of us in service know we must accept hard truths. Hold it! I'm still a little confused about the logic here. Yes, the witness's last statement seems to reveal a critical inconsistency in her story. However, if we consider the possibility that her statement is in fact the truth,
It may shed an entirely new light on this whole case.
What are you saying?
Counsel?
Sorry, sir? Whatever do you mean? Counsel, I will not tolerate your attempts to prorogue my adjudication. Explain yourself at once. When the accused boarded the omnibus on the night in question, the victim was nowhere to be seen. Subsequently, the carriage door was not heard opening a single time, as testified by the witness in the stand.
What if the door was just never shut? What if it was just swinging open while it was driving?
And yet the victim's body was found inside the carriage. If this petty thief's words are to be believed, how do you explain the victim's miraculous appearance inside the cabin of the omnibus?
There's only one way to explain how the victim came to be inside the carriage. Wait, is there another entrance? Hang on. No, there's only the one door, right? Well, wait, is there another entrance? No, she would have heard this door open. That doesn't matter. No door opened. And also, this isn't another entrance, despite how it looks. There's no handle on the inside. Is there another entrance? The skylight doesn't open. Wait, it does. There's a latch on the skylight. Oh shit. But could you open that silently? There is clearly a latch there. There's another entrance. The FNF modded question is an original one, so it's inspired by like multiple things and multiple aspects. Oh, that's kind of cool. So it's not just like, you know, Phoenix Wright versus Edgeworth, it's like the entire series in general. That's kind of sick. If the door wasn't open even once, the only explanation is that the victim entered the enclosed cabin some other way.
Objection!
Wondered what new fantasy you would come up with in your blind panic. But behold, the omnibus is here for all to see. Only one side of the enclosed cabin is furnished with a door. The other side has only windows. Fixed windows, which one cannot possibly open. In short, there is no entrance to the cabin other than the main door.
But there could be. There's one possibility you haven't considered.
Oh, really?
Yes, one other way inside that isn't the door. Another opening, the use of which allowed the victim to appear inside the enclosed cabin. Why they would have used it, no clue. But it does exist.
All right, counsel. The defense will identify the location for the court. Here is the omnibus on which the incident occurred. Where on earth is this entrance by which you propose the victim entered the cabin?
Right, let's say right there.
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It can only have been the skylight.
I say, the skylight?
Objection!
Your ludicrous proposal almost has me lost for words. However,
Objection!
The skylight may well be large enough for someone to pass through.
Objection!
so you claim. But do you have a shred of evidence to support your addle-brained theory?
Both Mr. McGilded and Miss Lestrade said in their testimonies. They each claimed to have heard a loud thud, such as the noise made by someone falling to the floor.
Yes, which has already been explained, as the sound of the victim falling from his seat having been assaulted with a dagger.
Yes, it has, but would a man slipping from the seat onto the floor really have made such a loud noise as the witness described? A noise loud enough to cause Miss Lestrade to let out an involuntary cry, in fact.
Good gracious!
Perhaps, in fact, that was the moment that the victim made his entrance into the cabin. No, let me rephrase that. The victim didn't enter the cabin as such. He fell into it.
Objection!
I see where this is going. Alright, new guilt perpetrators are on the docket now. Bring back the old guys. We gotta question them again.
You're now suggesting that the victim fell from the skylight into the cabin. That's simply impossible.
How can you be so sure?
Because if the victim had fallen inside through the skylight as you say, as the passengers on the roof deck would have seen it happen.
Exactly.
And yet, not one person made mention of such events in their testimony.
Yeah, because they're guilty. Well, yes, that's true, but oh, yeah, I think I see what you mean now, Jack. Okay, I misinterpreted Brian then. You're right. It's not that it's like Phoenix Wright related, but it's like Phoenix Wright.
Might the humble fella make a wee comment here?
Mr. McGilded?
To be sure. Now, the two fellas who sat on the roof that testified before said nothing of the victim falling through the skylight. But it seems to me, my lord, 'tis not much of a case of them not saying, but... Aye. 'Tis a case of them being unable to say. What? I think perhaps the two fellas do be having something of a compelling reason not to mention what happened. Would you not agree, fine ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Oh my goodness, surely not.
Those two chaps on the roof? In the woods stuck right off and the men were...
They're probably working in coots. It was both of them.
Just what exactly are you insinuating here, you blighter?
You brought her, he said. You brought her. What are you insinuating?
This is a flaming outrage. I've a good mind to give you a blinker in a minute.
He'll give you a shiner in a minute, he said. And so will I. Okay, they're clearly know each other. Mr. Fairplay.
You're effectively accusing me, a city gentleman and well-respected banker.
And me, a very angry hatter.
Suggesting that someone like me could have stabbed that man in the guts, it's a disgrace. It's scandalous. I protest. I protest in the strongest possible terms.
That's right. I protest too. About you rotten scoundrel.
Order! Order! This is not the time, witnesses. I will not permit this wanton invasion of the stand. Return to the anteroom at once. But it's beyond reason, my lord. It's outrageous. It's very hurtful, you know. My lord, if I may comment... go ahead, Lord Van Sykes.
It was the defense that incited this outburst from the witnesses. And my learned friend has seen fit to abandon all protocol and accuse the witnesses without proof.
Accuse?
I never intended to. It seems young Nipponese that your command of the English tongue is wanting. You propose to this court that the victim fell through the skylight from the roof deck of the omnibus. That hypothesis cannot possibly stand without the rooftop passengers being aware of the events. You have branded these gentlemen liars. You've intimidated their criminal guilt. In our British courts of law, that is what termed a baseless accusation. I know it's rash to put this idea forward without any actual evidence, but you can't just dismiss it without a second thought. What are we wasting time here for? Get them to testify.
Well, then there was always something fishy about that hat from the moment I lay eyes on the fellow. We have to see this matter through now, one way or another.
If there's filth and rubbish in our midst, we must dispose of it at once.
You know what I think's gonna happen here? We're all being led to believe it's these two. Somehow it's gonna be the driver.
What's happening, Mr. Naruhodo?
Spectators in the public gallery they're in a complete frenzy.
Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. My lord. You will take the stand again and make another formal testimony in reference to the indictment brought by the defense. Yes, my lord.
I didn't come here for this.
There's no time to think this through. All I can do is keeping pushing forward. Keeping pushing forward? I think keep pushing forward is what you want. McGilda's rage bait. Oh, he 100% is. Dude, he's just giggling in the corner. Having a wee old laugh while these two are scared for their lives and freedom right now. Because they're going to get found out. What's up with that first guy? I have no idea. You know what? Okay, actually no. I have a theory. Because he's a hatter, and hatters had to work with like mercury. That's where the term Mad Hatter comes from, right? You know, like in Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter, they go mad because of the mercury fumes that they had to work with making hats. I guarantee this guy's like actually insane in the head because of all the mercury fumes he has to huff at his job. So he's literally insane right now. He's not quite right because of all the mercury.
We were the only two people up on the roof deck, dead or alive. I can swear it's that.
If anything happened while we were sitting, don't you think the other one of us would have noticed?
In any case, none of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man.
The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We could possibly have opened it.
If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? I must say that on listening to this testimony, it is somewhat hard to imagine. Or either witness could have performed any malevolent acts on this open rooftop deck, without the other noticing forthwith. That's right, you see.
We're innocent, I tell you. Although logically, of course, the argument falls down if the two of you were in collusion with one another.
What?
According to investigations by Scotland Yard, as the two witnesses share no common dealings.
Why not just trust coppers any more than I trust the stinking rich?
Something doesn't feel right here. The trial's going in our favor, really. So why do I feel so uneasy?
Counsel for the defense. Over to you. Your cross-examination, please.
Oh, yes, my lord.
Hold it!
So in no time did the victim, Mr. Mason, climb up to join you on the roof deck?
Absolutely not, Dickon.
No question about it, he said. None at all. Oh, but yes, of course. I remember seeing them both. I saw the victim inside the enclosed cabin talking with this man here.
Is this true, Mr. McGilded?
Dear me, my lord. At the risk of repeating myself, I boarded the omnibus alone and nodded off inside almost immediately.
That's not right lie. Without doubt you were engaged in...
Let me stop you there, fellow, and ask, do you have any evidence at all? It's all about evidence in the court these days, so it is. You'd do well to remember that.
I saw you with my own eyes. This is going so well.
Hold it!
Well, it was on the final run of the omnibus at past 10 o'clock in the evening. It would certainly have been quite dark. Perhaps too dark to see clearly?
Is this some kind of lock? Is this some kind of joke, he said? Is that what this is?
Or perhaps one or the other of you fell asleep briefly.
Are you fair dinkum, sir? Are you serious, sir? That's what he said. It's impossible, I tell you. I'd give you the keys to the vault if you could fall asleep in that bitter cold. And if you did manage to do it, your eyelids would freeze shut and you'd never open them again.
That's extreme.
It was extreme, I tell you. And we had to put up with it because this man had locked the door. Any true gent would have unlocked it and let me in when I knocked. I'm dreadfully sorry about that, young fella. But you see, I was away with the fairies and I didn't hear you at all. That's a lie. I saw you through the glass. You were talking to someone.
Maybe you're talking about later when he was talking with the girl?
Now, 'twas a cold night it was. People do be seeing things that aren't real in the cold. 'Tis hardly surprising. Seeing things? Seeing things? I believe we've reached an impasse here on this particular point. You... Don't take it personally now, lad. If I'm a suspect in this case, then it is only fair that you and the other fiend are too. Open and free competition is what a capitalist society is all about. This isn't a competition I should like to be involved in, really.
Hold it!
So, you had never met Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason before?
Oh, Lumi, no! Not once, never! He'd never met the man before, he said. Never!
And you, Mr. First, had no prior dealings with the victim either?
That's right, sir. Hatters don't have much to do with brickmakers, to be perfectly honest, sir.
Come on, surely every fine, upstanding gentleman in this wonderful society of good old jolly England deserves a hat now and then. Wouldn't you agree?
No, I imagine not. You see? How many different ways can I put this? Neither of us have the remotest connection to the gentlemen who were inside the cabin.
Excuse me.
Mr. McGilden?
Yes, counsel? What can I be doing you for?
Did the witness's last statement give you pause for thought somehow?
Not the remotest connection? Was that right now? I wonder. What are you insinuating now? Ah, Mr. Fairplay. That has been too long, so it has. Eh? Well, if I'm not very much mistaken, I believe this fast approaching is not your repayment date. I beg your pardon? You borrowed 20 guineas from me, sir. At an unconscionable rate of interest. You tricked me. It's extortion. Well now, is that a touch of begrudgery, is it? The sort of begrudgery that might motivate a fellow to pass his crimes off on another. And, young Mr. First. But me, sir? What do you want with me, sir? You do be making hats for a living, do you not? That there top hat sliding around on your head? Is that one of your own creations, is it? Oh, well, I'm still just an apprentice, you understand? I'm learning to find the perfect fit for whatever fine gent walks through the door. The perfect fit, is it? Well, it is a very distinctive design, so it is. Many customers like it, I tell you. They like a distinctive touch. Customers, such as Thrice-Fired Mason. There is a photographic print of the victim submitted as evidence for, my lord. This, you mean?
Oh, that's what I was going to present.
I can't help but think the poor fella's hat looks, distinctly familiar, wouldn't you say? Oh. That's one of my hats. Aye, that it is. So it would seem the brickmaker was a customer of yours. The sort of customer I'd wager you could have had a wee quarrel with over the distinctiveness of the goods. Oh, no, sir. Absolutely not, sir. Well, there's really nothing more to add. It wouldn't be right to say that the two fellas here haven't the remotest connection to the victim, you see. I rest my case. You little weasel! Ah.
He's better at this than I am. Yeah, get him behind the stand. Oh wait, he's guilty. Or not guilty, but supposedly guilty. Gosh, Mr. McKilton certainly has been through in his research, hasn't he?
Please don't let me, little interruption, hold up the proceedings.
Oh, that was an achievement. You're hearing objections in your dreams. Alright, good night, Jack. Thanks for coming by. Gilded is putting me off more and more as this case goes on. Yeah, it's like, okay. I mean, it's the classic case of this guy seems really suspect, but he's like also totally innocent. But they don't want you to think he's innocent. And at the end of the day, you're not entirely wrong. He's guilty for other things, but he's not guilty of murder. That's what we're here to prove today. This man is completely innocent of murder, and I could see a million ways as to how that is possible. Scummy he may be, murderer he is not. Are you quite certain about that? That the skylight was shut the entire time?
I'm going to lose my block with you in a minute. He's going to lose his rag with you in a minute. That's what he said. Take a look for yourself. Go on. You see? It's shut fast now, just like it was on the night.
You could have just latched it closed. Who said you had to leave it open?
Ah, so it is. Of course, a fella your size of the size of Mr. Mason could likely break right through it, still and all. What? But just look at the size of the thing, you understand? Now you hold on there a minute, sir. The size of the thing means nothing. Not on its own. Let's consider the bigger picture here, shall we?
Let's stop biting our cane, shall we?
I was riding the omnibus on another occasion when, well, I broke wind. Loudly. I shocked myself with it as it happens. This is an unexpected confession, Mr. First. Oh, I just mean to say, well, the point is, I tried to open the skylight, you see? What just my luck, I couldn't have make it budge. The stench was terrible. Everyone was looking daggers at me, sir. I went as red as rouge, I did.
Okay, so 2 questions here. Were you on the inside or outside? Because if you're on the inside, yeah, there's no latch on the inside. That's why it didn't budge. Second of all, if you were on the outside, why did you need to open the skylight? Because you farted. Are you trying to let it inside? So that everyone can smell it? You want to announce to the world who dealt it? Because there would be no reason to open that skylight if you were outside the carriage.
Are you expecting me to sentence you? Oh, no, sir. The point is, well, skylight can't be open. I tried when I was inside the cabin of shame.
Excuse me.
These guys are terrible liars. Man on guard got nothing on this scumbag. Dude, both of these people are kind of like half insane. They're just desperate as shit right now. Do you have something to say about that, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade.
It opens.
Hmm?
The skylight. That's what we're talking about, right? All them skylights open. Dead easy.
Well, yeah, when you shoot them. More easily than you can load that weapon?
That's a lie, I tell you. Otherwise, when I broke wind, You can't open it from the inside, you mug. Oh. Look, a few weeks ago, I was up on the roof deck of one of them drags. Well, not a great haul. I mean, I had a burst that's coming at me ears.
Miss Lestrade, this is not the forum to be eulogizing on the subject of your criminal activities.
Well, anyway, I had a bit of a scare. When I lifted the last bloke's purse, he got wise to me. All of them surrounded me, so I couldn't off of the bus and leg it. So what I did was I used the skylight, opened the catch and jumped right through.
What?
Yeah, the catch for them skylights is on the top side. That's why you can't open them from the cabin.
The skylight opens from the roof deck? You didn't know this?
Bailiff, climb up onto the roof of the omnibus at once and verify this witness's claims.
We were looking right at the hatch. Guy didn't even comment on it.
Oh, my hat. See?
Order? Order! So, it appears that this street girl's statement is quite true.
I don't believe it. Skylight opens. And from the roof deck.
Mr. Naruhodo. This could be the clue we've been looking for.
Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. So, the skylight opens. Perhaps I should investigate for myself.
Hold it!
So I guess we needed to do that press to have Naruhodo see for himself that the skylight opens from the roof, and now we can use the carriage as evidence in this statement. Proof.
That's right. I demand to hear it.
We came here to see what you saw. I tell you, not for this.
But you could call us both shysters. Brand us criminals.
You call us liars? That's what he means. And accuse us of doing it.
As it stands at the moment, there's no hard evidence that incriminates yourselves, now is there? I believe we're in much the same position as one another here.
If I don't crack this case soon, he'll crack his teeth.
I wonder if these two men really were involved in some way.
I couldn't say. I mean, I don't really know anything about them, do I? Although, by the same token, I don't really know anything about Mr. McGilden either. It's so hard to know what to believe here.
I think we should try to remember that it's evidence alone that can truly determine the outcome of a trial.
Evidence.
No one can argue against decisive evidence, including the members of the jury.
So you're saying that what we need now is to find a conclusive piece of evidence?
Yes, Master Naruhodo, precisely.
Okay, so it's probably this last statement. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? It's gotta be this, right?
Objection!
No? Okay. We just finished revealing how the skylight is openable from the roof. But I guess we need proof that that is what happened, is what we're getting at here. Okay, fair. They update the omnibus? I clicked... Do I have to go and examine it a third time? Because, like, I clicked on the skylight not too long ago, but he still was surprised at the revelation just now that the skylight opens from the rooftop. I guess I'll examine it again. We'll go examine it one more time. Any differences here? So the skylight was fastened shut before.
Now the catch has been undone, we should be able to open it.
Okay, so they're doing it themselves now. And we'll click on it again. You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, and there's a lamp inside the enclosed cabin. Okay, yeah. Alright, we just opened it ourselves. No update. You're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? Stabbed once in the abdomen with a knife while journeying in an omnibus, died due to internal hemorrhaging resulting from the trauma. Okay. Or are we going back to the whole... where is it? Is it this statement? We couldn't possibly have opened it. Maybe this is the statement we want to do it on? Because, like, only them could have opened it. Because only the people on the roof could have opened it. Oops. We're the only two people on the roof deck, dead or alive, I can swear to that. Okay. I wonder if I just pressed the wrong, or presented the wrong statement. This could actually be it. Maybe the final statement's a red herring.
Objection.
Nope, that's also not it. Okay. No, so okay, so we examined it the first time last week at the very start of the trial. I then examined it again, when did I examine again? When we first started talking about skylights, just before I pointed out on the blueprint that there was a third entrance, or second entrance that wasn't the door. And then we did this whole bit, and then they brought up the fact that you could open the skylight only from the rooftop. Ryunosuke was very surprised by that fact. And I was just like, yeah, we just looked at this. This was the second time I even clicked on the skylight. But you're right, they didn't open it during that second investigation of the carriage. It was only just now that they finally decided, confirmed that yes, you can open the skylight from the roof. So I feel like this is the right evidence, but the evidence itself didn't update, which means it probably isn't. Skylight was shut the entire time. I tell you, we couldn't possibly have opened it. They couldn't possibly have opened it. Following fancy ornamentations just must be quite valuable. Is there any other statement we can use here? Or do we have to press everything again and hope in case someone decides to like interject again out of nowhere? If anything happened while we were sitting, don't you think one or the other of us would notice? Well, yeah, because you're in cahoots with each other, so you're not going to say anything. None of us know the first thing about the victim, we know Rizako. Okay, we can still do this. This is what we want. I thought we were past this because McGill had interjected, but...
Objection.
No? Okay, I thought we still had to do this, maybe, because... despite him interjecting, but yeah, no, that makes sense, because... we went over this. Proved that this wasn't impossible. Can we examine the skylight from inside the opening? Oh, that's a good idea. Let's do that. Is it still open? Yes, it is. Okay. That's a good idea. Maybe this will be... cause something different. That's a little... I think you're right. This could be it. No, we actually can't. Okay. Oh, wait, can we? Yes, we can. This does open very wide, doesn't it? Wide enough to kick someone like you through, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. Why someone like me? What is it? Look, just here. Look at this. Oh my god, there's blood on it. There's our proof. That's without question. It's blood. Why would there be a blood stain here? Surely, it can't be unrelated to the case, can it?
There it is! There it is! Okay, could I have done it on above? Let's see. No, I don't think you can. Yeah, you can clearly see it, but the fact you can't do it from up here is a little dicey. I don't know how I feel about that. That's like a clicking right here. I'm just seeing if it's like, no, that's just the roof now. Yeah, that's a little silly. Because you know what would happen here? Someone's gonna go up and have like the same train of thought I have about the whole skylight thing and open it up. They see the blood from up here. They see they can't click it. Probably not gonna think that you have to go inside to click it. I feel like that should have been clickable from the roof as well. But I also didn't notice the blood. So that's stunk. Yeah, we just had to, I had to trigger the right little thing in it. We had to get some update of the evidence. That was definitely correct. The way we went about it's a little, I don't know. It's a little iffy, but you know what? I'm not gonna fault the game necessarily for that one. The associated victim fell through the skylight. Where's your proof? Well, we definitely have proof now.
Objection.
There it is. Just had to, like, finagle with the evidence a little bit. On the night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach. And immediately afterwards, the victim's body was pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts. And the irrefutable proof remains clearly visible in the omnibus that stands before us today in this very courtroom. What? Well, that's utter humbug. You can't possibly have any evidence. No, you can't. I mean, we didn't do it, I tell you. It's impossible. Irrefutable proof. Here in this courtroom. Counsel? My lord, I believe everyone would appreciate a little clarification here, Where exactly within the omnibus is this evidence to which you allude? You will point out what it is that proves the victim fell from the roof deck through the skylight. Oh, okay. Is this the right spot? Did I pick the right spot? Making sure? Yes, this is the right spot because this is the whole blood conversation. And tackling Ryunosuke through the skylight conversation.
Got it.
By Jupiter! Is that blood?
This bloodstain proves two things. Firstly, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open.
What?
And secondly, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through the opening.
Oh my.
And so it follows that Mr. McGilded, who was inside the enclosed cabin himself at the time, cannot possibly be guilty of this crime. Yeah, I still despite having played so many of these games at this point, I expect there's little things I'm just like, surely they would be this dumb to not have this one specific approach to the evidence as a possible, correct answer. You know what else I think it boils down to? And I think now we have definitive proof of this because we played 5 and 6 and then we went and played this one. Is the puzzle design style between this guy who created the series and did these two games and the puzzle and writing style of the rest of the team who handled 5 and 6. You can tell there's a distinct difference in the way that the games are made and designed. These little quirks like this where it's like, oh, well, you have to go inside and you have to open it from the outside, but you have to go inside to see the blood, or you have to repress this one specific statement for seemingly no reason to get a new piece of testimony or whatever. That kind of stuff I feel is distinct to the original trilogy.
which is why it shows up here. So, yeah. I should have known by now. But it's at the very least it's proof that you can tell, like, who's making these games.
Order! But if the blood could have sprayed up there when the victim fellow was stabbed inside the cabin, and only found its way to that one particular spot in the skylight, sure, that would be very convenient. Let's keep it in mind that the skylight can only be unfastened from the roof deck. I myself wouldn't have been able to open it now, would I? But there's no way to know for certain, is there? If the jet really fell through the skylight, I mean. Why don't you have a good look at the floor of the cabin between the two seats, Mr. First? It is all too plain, if you see. There's the aftermath that shows the poor fella dropped from a fair height right in there, so it is. What? No! But it can't be. It's all lies!
Hold it!
My fellow jury members, I think we can all agree that this is clear proof of the defendant's innocence, can't we? I believe we can, yes, sir. It's clear to me now where the filthy rubbish can be found in this courtroom. So they thought they could pull the wool over my eyes, did they? I won't tolerate any of the guild's carriages being sullied with blood. I won't tolerate it. Oh, I always knew that nice gentleman was who gave us that delightful park could have possibly done such a thing. On three then, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Objection!
Chilling performance, Mr. McKitted. Oh, and what would you be referring to then now, Lord Van Zix? A bloodstain on the frame of the skylight? Such evidence is null and void. What? Why? For one extremely simple reason. That smear of blood never existed. What?
Objection!
What are you talking about? It's there for all to see and it's clearly blood.
Objection!
I personally attended Scotland Yard's investigation of the omnibus. The officers involved bent over the carriage with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah, well, it wasn't fine enough.
So I can state with absolute certainty, no such smear of blood existed in the carriage. At least, not until this trial began. But are you suggesting, Lord Van Zix, that the stain of blood was fabricated, my lord? Yes, and while this court has been in session.
What? This guy's just laughing. I couldn't defend his innocence and he's laughing.
What a palaver. I must say I didn't expect such crude reasoning from a prosecutor of your standing, Lord Van Zix. But I'm Magnus McGilded, a fellow known over the capital for his fine contribution to public life. I don't take kindly to slander, and I'll fight to it to the bitter end. Even if it's rolling off the tongue of the Reaper at the Bailey. Mr. McGilded, I realize that this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I am well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in a great many affairs of dubious nature. You're very adept when it comes to avoiding getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens that the case you're involved in is investigated, you adapt the facts.
Adapt the facts? What does that even mean?
Then you wield a fortune the size of Mr. McGilded, so however ill-gotten it may be, nothing is impossible. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of the crime, bribing witnesses. I toast your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir. Tut tut, Lord Van Six. This will not do, to be sure. Will it now, Council?
Oh, no.
I think it's fair to say that this does all sound like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood on the skylight didn't exist, you say? Ah, but if yous will all cast your minds back, is it not true that the omnibus there has been in the courtroom the entire time? How could anyone possibly have put a smear of blood in it without the word and his wife seeing? Isn't that right now, Council?
It's true. The omnibus has been in full view the entire time that court has been in session.
Ah, my learned friend. Here's to hearing your opinion on this matter, in your own words.
As you wish. Could someone have tampered with the omnibus during this trial? If you're asking me, I think... As a defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defendant as best I can. But still, I feel as though there's something even more important at stake here. Did she somehow swap the bus for another? I don't know if she swapped the bus, although this is Phoenix, right? She totally fucking... That could actually be the answer. That would be so ridiculous, but I would be okay with it. I think more likely, though, she probably just went and smeared some blood or something on there to, like, forge the evidence. That's the simpler explanation. All that smoke going on, like, she snuck down there, did her thing, and then left. There's no evidence to suggest that the defendant did as my learned friend suggests. However, in terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility.
Good gracious! Explain yourself, Counsel.
I think we all know what opportunity this is talking about.
Yes, there is. It seems my learned Nipponese friend has no intention of running from this deceit. Deceit?
I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly the recess that we were forced to take. As a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently in the stand, Miss Gina Lestrade. Is her name also a gun? I've been trying to think of like what her pun is. But is her name also a gun? Have we now had two perpetrators whose last names are types of guns? Is this a running thing we're doing here? Because a Lestrade is a type of gun, isn't it? What's going on? Be careful, Naruhodo. Cover your face.
Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus. I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom.
I say swap because the bench underneath was changed as well. Not much time to do both. Yeah, but like, the bench underneath was only emptied. Would it not be easier to like take a paintbrush and some blood, and then also like take it in there, paint it on, and then run out with the luggage? I mean, I guess when I put it that way, it sounds more complicated, sure, but we're comparing that to moving an entire carriage by hand out of a courtroom. Remember that only the courtroom itself is smoked. The rest of the building is completely clear. And then swapping it for somewhere awaiting second tampered carriage. I mean, maybe. I just feel like it'd be a little easier, you know, considering this girl is apparently a master thief, for her to just go in, smack some paint, and run out with the goods. And she's even admitted before she knows, like, to move the stuff out of the bus. She's done it in the past. No one's ever noticed her do it. The courtroom was filled with smoke and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave this chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke and in all the chaos, it could have been possible to steal the inside the omnibus.
Are you wise? What are you trying to pull, you rotten, feckless gouger?
Feckless Gouger?
You're supposed to be defending me. Tis a wicked plot. There's a plot to undermine me, so it is.
Objection!
Whatever you think it is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus. Inconsistencies? Such as... Well, to start with, the storage compartment underneath is the rear passenger seat. When the police investigated the omnibus, this compartment was full of the driver's items. Secondly, we have the smear of blood on the edge of the skylight. As I have said, that was not present at the start of the trial this morning. Unfortunately, Lord Van Zix, no one is able to corroborate your claims.
That's true. When the omnibus was first wheeled out, both the storage compartment and the skylight were shut.
Accordingly, I'm afraid to say we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is the result of tampering or not. Indeed, my lord. No doubt there was not a single person who saw fit to verify such things.
What do you think? Sorry? About the omnibus. Is there anything else unusual about the omnibus? Oh, fuck, man. I didn't know we were going to be playing Spot the Difference like 300 hours later. Oh, shit. I'm going to say yes. My lord?
Yes, counsel.
There is one further inconsistency. A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial.
What? What in the devil's name are you going to say now? If you dare betray me, you little maggot, you better start watching your back. Silence, McGilded. The court awaits the defense's clarification.
This child keeps swinging one way and then the other. I have no idea what's the truth and what's deception. What am I supposed to believe here?
I shall have to ask you to elaborate, counsel. Where exactly is this alleged mark that you claimed appeared at some point during the trial?
It's not the blood down here, right? Wasn't that always there? Not sure if puns, I only know that first one because someone in Discord I'm in posted a wiki page of the comment. GA had me do a history lesson. Okay, let me just I'm googling on Lestrade. How'd you spell her name? Was it L-E or L-A? It was L-E, right? There's a Lestrades with an S. That's not what I want. Oh, it's probably in reference. Okay, so the second Google result is literally from Sherlock Holmes, the books. Because, yeah, okay. He's a character. Lestrade is a character from Sherlock Holmes, so I guess that's probably the reference. May or may not come up again in the future. In the books, Lestrade is an inspector, I think, from Scotland Yard by the looks of it. So, might be a relation? I don't remember this bloodstain being so big and or present in the first place. But that would make sense that it's here. Can we click on it? Is that safe to do? We can click on it, okay. That's blood, isn't it? Is something wrong? Oh, it's just, well, this bloodstain's so obvious, that's all. And yet, Van Zieks had made no mention of it. Okay, this bloodstain is totally fake. I suppose that does seem a little strange. Why do I have such a bad feeling about this? Okay, that's 100% it. There it is. If we consider that the victim fell through the skylight onto the floor of the cabin, you would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. But, as far as I recall, this bloodstain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom.
Good lord! Yes, I do believe you're correct, counsel. Well said. Although, as an advocate for the defense, one might say that was a very careless slip of the tongue.
I believe that bloodstain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether that evidence is genuine, or whether it was unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to admit that there's at least a possibility that the evidence is fake. This guy's like complete opposite of Phoenix, right? Okay, Phoenix obviously, yeah, doesn't go around, you know, dishing out false evidence all the time, but it was a pretty careless mistake, let's be real. Meanwhile, Naruhodo over here is like, can we be sure this evidence is real? I need to fact check this quickly.
This trial is over.
Mr. McKilded?
I've done everything I possibly can to cooperate with the court, but that is all over now.
But you're the defendant.
'Tis over, I tell you. Memory, recollection, what people think they saw, 'tis all nonsense. Facts are what counts, and the fact is that bloodstain is there, now.
Well...
And over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out as it had been, that good-for-nothing Reaper of the Bailey has failed to present any decisive evidence at all. I'm scandalized, so I am. I thought better of Lord Van Zieks. Well, my lord? I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of an individual cannot stand as evidence. At this moment in time, the particular bloodstain in question is very much in existence. And in the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence, I regret to say that it would be improper for this trial to continue.
I think it would be more improper to, like, end it now. You're literally ending it because you want it to end, is what you're saying. Your lordship can't be serious.
Lord Van Zieks, what is your position? As the prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present. Very well. In that case, as I believe we've explored every possible avenue in this matter, I shall proceed to my adjudication. As a formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defense first.
What formality? As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Mr. McGilty would be found not guilty. Yes. Which would mean we've won. Is that really the right outcome here? Is it really alright for the trial to come to an end now with all these unexplained inconsistencies?
Counsel for the defense, your closing statement, please.
Yes, my lord. The defense believes... I am here in this courtroom today to advocate for the defense of my client, Mr. McGilded. However, at this moment in time, I cannot in all good conscience attest fully to the defendant's innocence.
What are you saying, man?
Without any question, there is no conclusive evidence to prove that the defendant is guilty. However, there is also no conclusive evidence to prove that he is innocent.
Good gracious me! Order! Order! This is unprecedented behavior, counsel. A defense lawyer calling the accused's innocence into question? Are you of sound mind? Oh, it was a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer, so it was. A grand decision.
What?
I must say I didn't expect quite an exciting spectacle at the end there, but still. Here, have this for your troubles. Your job here is done, fella. And some fine work you done, so you have.
What do you mean?
Tis just as the right honorable gentleman so succinctly put it before, the trial cannot go on anymore. And your closing statement there was, how did he put it now? Nothing more than a formality.
This guy played us all. I didn't know where this case was going. It was going back and forth, back and forth. Is he innocent? Is he guilty? No way we're not gonna get a first real trial in England. No way we're gonna get like a guilty verdict as the correct result. I'm starting to think that's the case now.
I really don't know what to make of all this. Was the evidence genuine, or was it fake?
His lordship would be fuming. Any unsightly rubbish should be disposed of promptly, as I said.
The stinking rich are always guilty of something. You mark my words.
I feel terribly ashamed that I ever doubted that lovely man who gave us that lovely park.
Now that proceedings have unfolded this way, I am compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea. I thank you kindly, my lord. I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court.
Objection!
But we still haven't determined if the bloodstain in the omnibus is genuine or not. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. We have no idea about the truth. I have an idea. I think I know what we can do to prove this.
Lord Van Zykes. My lord, the case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple. If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place. My sincerest apologies, my lord.
Objection!
But wait, when we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zix ordered the evidence to be secured.
I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this manner.
Well, that's so unfair.
The culpability of the defendant has not at the present time been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment.
What?
Well, Lord Van Zix, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense.
Do you mean to tell me this has all been a grand waste of time?
Ah, 'tis the law of the land, my good man. If you'd like to pursue this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law. Magnus McGilted. Good grief, you have more to say to me, have you?
Just one thing, a warning.
This is far from over. Well, something to be looking forward to then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGilded.
What?
It's over? No way. What do you mean it's over? Yeah, you know what? I agree with that, Duck. It's like, the Dark Age was always here. We were never not in the Dark Age of the Law. It was there from the start. Game was rigged from the start. With the courtroom in the pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict. And my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end. With the defendant being found not guilty, ostensibly a victory for us. What the fuck? I mean, we've done the whole, you know, get your totally guilty client not guilty verdict before. Not like this. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that evidence is real. We just casually just happened to not see it before. I don't think that's the case, but something's definitely up here.
That was certainly a long trial.
Ah, yeah, it was.
Your first ever trial on foreign soil, and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. My heartfelt congratulations.
And to you, Mr. Sato. Thank you for your assistance. I suppose we should be happy. The trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened.
Well, we didn't have enough time.
But isn't it wrong? I mean, who was actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that.
The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection.
Aye, that you did.
Mr. McGill did. Ah, and that girl's with him too.
Well, it seems the stories are true.
Oh? What stories?
About the 6 enormous fireworks they do be letting off when there's a verdict of not guilty. I'm sure you must have seen them now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say?
Yes, definitely.
I heard it was a sight to behold, and sure it was. And I viewed the tank, I suppose, for having an opportunity to see it.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not really sure I did anything.
What on earth are you saying, fella? How did I walk out of there a free man?
I don't think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning.
You're a straight talker fella, aren't you? I must say, you had me a stay in the head there once or twice. But you're young and headstrong. It is water under the bridge.
Congratulations, Mr. McGilded, on having your name cleared.
Ah, but nothing's resolved.
There's only one thing that matters to me.
Oh?
Aye. You've all seen that I didn't do that odious and abstinent deed. It's grand, is it not?
I suppose it is.
Now the fine fellas of Scotland Yard can take matters into hand and sort out any wee details. They'll see it for what it is. They'll get to the truth. I've absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be provided a good number of their wages with all the taxes I pay.
Yeah, taxes.
It's not that funny. So then, as we agreed beforehand, 1,000 guineas for your troubles, fella.
Oh, no, I couldn't possibly accept that much.
I'd be whizzed. You're a humble person, are you, from the far east? You're from the east? Well, if you insist. But of this, still and all, you deserve a reward.
One single coin.
Mr. Magnus McGilded. Everything is ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me to the courtroom.
Into the courtroom?
What's this, officer? It's sooner than I was led to believe. Officer, too inconvenient, sir. There's some changes to the schedule. Well, I must be making tracks now. It is time for the inspection.
Sorry, what inspection?
They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
They're going to examine it again? Now?
Naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upstanding member of London society, I do be doing my best to help where I can. It's a gentleman's duty, so it is. So then, very well. It was an absolute pleasure meeting yous. I hope you have a whale of a time while you're studying here in Great Britain.
Can we go take another look at the omnibus? And there he goes, a free man. Yeah, wait. What if this is like this is why Phoenix is always so poor? You know, imagine how different Phoenix Wright's life could have been if his great-grandfather decided to take the 10,000 guinea from this disrespectable man. How much richer they could have been. This guy could have, like, invested in something. Could have had, like, millions of dollars in the future. Oh, I forgot she was here, too. You know, considering how long it takes to load that gun, yeah, I could have had all the time in the world to move. I'm doing you a courtesy. I'm letting you have this one. I'm letting you have your fun, kid.
Don't move.
Whereas I want to say, get a move on, she really does take forever to load that thing. Miss Lestrade, would you mind putting that thing down?
Get a grown up.
Sorry?
And I ate all grown ups.
The fuck?
Naughty, naughty, like running off like that.
Is this some kind of picnic? Who's this little girl now?
I'm taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher.
Oh shit, we're getting like a full war in here? Like,
Who do you want to play? You won't beat me.
excuse me, but who are you?
Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine.
The inventor?
Well, normally smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? White, white, and more white. If you have to be shrouded in smoke, it could at least be a pretty color, I thought to myself.
Do we have to be shrouded in smoke, though? At all?
I just took my eyes off it for a moment whilst I was changing into a different omnibus and she pinched it. Luckily, I fitted it with a telegraphic beacon.
What's it? What? I have no idea what this girl's talking about.
Anyway, you're coming with me now. Back to my laboratory. What? What for? To apologize, of course, silly. To my technician. What? You mean, say sorry? You must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before. An adult? I don't listen to no adults. Come along then, follow me. Go on, have it your way. Oh good. You see, I knew you'd want to do the right thing in the end.
I'm fairly sure that was what she wants. What she wants is to not get shot by that massive gun of yours.
We'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye. I'm so sorry for all of us.
Well, she was a lively one.
Well, do you think perhaps we ought to be on our way now too?
Yes, you're right. But Where to?
Oh,
We haven't had time to find a place to stay. No sooner had we arrived in London than we had to rush here. All our traveling cases are still with the bailiff.
I was originally planning to spend the day in search of lodgings.
But at this late hour in the day, I'm afraid we may be out of luck.
Don't worry though, I have a plan. If the worst comes to worst, I've heard of a lovely park where we could spend the night.
Oh yeah, what park would that be, Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park.
I know it may be a little chilly at this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through.
That is the same mistake I made as a kid. Do not do that. Please don't. That is not a superpower. I'm not so sure about that. I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person solid just as easily as an elderly one.
Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable.
Now I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGilded down. And 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room, or mansion. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead, just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned. The case was far from over.
What's going on? Get the fire brigade! Water! Bring water! Quick! What the-
Really inspecting the,
Sir, by the time I got here, it was already engulfed.
Good job inspecting the
No one was
omnibus.
supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating. No. Oh, good God. There's someone in there. This can't be.
$100 says it's Mr. McGilded. Although I don't know why he would light himself on fire, so... Either he lit it on fire and got away to, like, destroy the evidence, or someone else is here, and now he's dead, and he became the next victim. Ugh. I think he's dead. I agree, I think he's 100% dead. Okay, well, I think we'll just end it there, and we can start episode 4 fresh on a new stream, when we'll have time to really be able to sink our teeth into it properly. Wow! Okay, so we've done the whole, get your client not guilty against your better judgment thing before. However, usually it's as part of the finale of the game. And there's usually a twist that, like, you turn it all around and you get them guilty anyways. But you get both the good, you get a win-win for yourself. You get them guilty and their threat falls flat on its face. But here, it's pretty clear that guy was super guilty. We couldn't prove it, but it was clear that he was. Not only that, we had fabricated evidence. Not only that, this is only case number 3. Not only that, that guy's probably dead now. So this whole experience is just so different than I was expecting. This is really good. I have no idea where this is going to go from here. Hopefully we get a proper investigation, as the save file is implicating. That was an extremely good case, though. I really, actually, that aside, I thought it was really clever to have the investigation kind of be merged with the trial itself. Because, like, then when you brought in the whole, like, falsified evidence thing, it's like, oh, let's go inspect the crime scene. First thing. They really get you into, like, the mindset of, like, you should be doing this. And it's like, yeah, you know what I should be doing this. You're right, game. Thank you. This is weird. I like this, though. And then it's like, yeah, did you inspect the crime scene? You better have.
Because now the whole plot's going to revolve around the fact that you inspected the crime scene at the start of the case. Because everything's going to be different now in the second half. That was really good. What a great idea for a case. Never seen something like that before. That was extremely good. Alright, we're going to end it here. Because, I mean, we probably could start case 4, but I think it's just best if we leave that for next time, and we can probably sink our teeth into the next investigation. Meet our new characters. Maybe we'll finally get to meet Scotland Yard. Hopefully we'll get to see Mr. Herlock himself again. I kind of miss him. Whatever shenanigans he's going to get into this time. I like the investigation stuff in this game, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. So hopefully we'll get to see more of that. And yeah, hopefully we'll get the conclusion of this case, because it was inconclusive as shit, but that was really good. And it works really well. It's on purpose and it's good. So very much looking forward to part 4 here. But that'll be next Tuesday. I'll be back Thursday with some Mario 64. Hopefully I'll have a cleaned up and ready to go map. I can't wait to show it to everyone, because I'm liking how it's turning out. It will be a lot better, trust me. And then of course we'll have Minecraft on Friday. We got some more Tevi next Monday. And yeah, we'll continue this next Tuesday. So in the meantime, thank you all for watching tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed. And I will see you next time.